Quakers Fostering Justice Committee of CFSC, so I'm involved in helping out with all of the projects that we undertake in terms of advocacy for penal abolition and prison abolition and restorative justice, and for children of people who have gotten into trouble with the law. My mother was very involved in visiting jails with Quakers in the early 1970s, which is when I was a small child. And after having had a number of encounters and fairly deep discussions with some of the people in jail there, there was one person in particular who she really felt strongly moved to help, and she ended up bailing him out. He was awaiting trial, and he didn't have the money to cover his bail, so she ended up covering his bail, and he had no place to stay, so she invited him to stay in our home. And that was the start of sort of a long history of this with our family. She, in fact, developed relationships with a number of lawyers who, if they had clients who just needed a place to stay or a little bit of money to help cover their bail, they would often talk to her to get her assistance with that. And if she met someone in jail who had really inadequate support from the legal aid system, she would refer them to these particular lawyers, and they had a nice little mutually beneficial relationship that way. So I grew up with very often people who were awaiting trial living in our home. Some of these people had drug addictions, some of them their offenses ranged the gamut from, very petty drug type offenses all the way up to murder. But they were never threatening to us. And as a child, because this was the way I grew up and this was what I knew, I wasn't freaked out by it as much as my older brothers were a little more, but I was very accepting that these were just people, and they were nice people, and they were always very helpful and generous with us insofar as they had the ability to do that. This didn't solve their problems. Many of them ended up, after trial, going to jail. Many of them ended up reoffending. But it certainly gave me the perspective of people who had committed offenses aren't different. They're just like other people, and they've often gone through significant traumas and troubles in their own lives, and have a great deal of difficulty relating to other people and understanding society around them, and their time in jails and prisons has only made that 10 times worse or 100 times worse.